Thanks for tuning in with me for another episode of Radio Dario. This week we got a little bit different format. Like I said, we're going to continue to add to the format every week as we go on with this. Again, I'm listening to feedback from you guys and what you think needs to be improved on the show or things that need to change. Won't take all of it. I will take some of it. But I appreciate the feedback nonetheless because I'm trying to get better at this, and we're going to try to get better with consistency. Consistency and doing it every week. We might have new changes every week. We might not have any new changes. But I thank you guys again for joining in with me for our second episode. So you guys can see the lineup that we have for today. First lineup that we're going into is just talking about around the NFL. So around the NFL, thoughts on preseason week 2. I will say this. Malik Willis, I apologize. I watched your game, and this week in preseason week 2, there's some flashes there. There are definitely some flashes there. I definitely see some talent there. There's some things that he did that jumped off the screen that not many quarterbacks can do. Arm angles, mobility. The kid looks pretty good. I can say this. I don't think Ryan Tannehill, I don't think your quarterback position there is safe. Ryan Tannehill, you're going to have to come balling out this year to make sure that you're going to be the quarterback moving forward with those Tennessee Titans. If not, it could definitely be Malik Willis. Another player that stood out for me just watching games around the league, Mitchell Trubisky. Yeah, no. This was your chance to solidify yourself in the NFL from being the top quarterback in that draft with Patrick Mahomes to revitalize your career from what didn't take place with the Bears. Steelers have pretty solid foundation just as an organization over the years. And from what I saw in that preseason game, you're done. You're done. Kenny Pickett is going to be the starting quarterback for the Steelers. I watched that kid throw the ball and it jumps off his hand. It jumps off his hand. I was very impressed with the way that ball came out and got to his receivers, his running back, throwing it out the backfield. Kenny Pickett, right now, looks like the best quarterback in that draft this year. Easily. Hands down. Kid looks great. Phenomenal. But for around the NFL, that's the person that's jumping out for me that really caught my attention. I'm actually, dare I say, excited to see this kid play more because that's the kind of arm talent I was seeing out there with him. Yeah, I want to see him play a lot more. I love the way the ball was coming right off his hands. So I'm really, really excited to see what happens with Kenny Pickett. Also, Malik Willis, I apologize for what I said week 1. I definitely saw some flashes of talent there, and Ryan Tannehill, be worried. Be worried. Going into our next topic, what are your thoughts on Deshaun Watson suspension? I'm going to be honest with you. Deshaun Watson's suspension seems suspicious. I thought for sure the NFL was going to suspend him for an entire year. I thought that's exactly what was going to happen. But 11 games? That's such an odd number. 11 games? I'm not even worried about that. Is it $1 million? Is it $5 million? I'm not even worried about any of that. 11 games? Like, just an odd number of games. We're going to suspend you 11 games, Deshaun Watson. Not to mention in his interview, he didn't take ownership of nothing that took place over the past year. All the reports that came out about his sexual, this conduct that he had with these women through the massage parlors, whatever, took no blame for any of it. After he reached a settlement and had a statement, I'm guessing somebody must have written that statement for him, because in that press conference, he said he was guilty of that. The information is too conflicting. And it's not a good look for Deshaun Watson. And it's not a good look for the NFL for them to suspend him 11 games. And the game he comes back is the game when he plays his former team. The game he comes back, he plays the Texans. Feels like a business move to me. Feels like you can sell that game. Feels like, hey, Deshaun Watson, you're going to come back and play your old team right back off of suspension, getting right back into it. Sounds like you can sell that game. They did him so wrong. He had to sit out this long, and now he's finally back, returning to the NFL. Face of the NFL, one of the top quarterbacks with Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and the AFC. Josh Allen. No, that's not right. It's not right that Deshaun Watson didn't take ownership for what he did. Or the information is just too conflicting. If you read the articles and everything like that, at this point, Deshaun Watson, you just got to own up and take ownership for it. You say you want to move on and you want to move past it and get on with your career. You have to acknowledge and take ownership for what you've done and how you're going to try to continue to be a better person. I got that you said that, but not taking ownership isn't you becoming a better person. And NFL, shame on you for suspending them 11 games and bringing them back to sell TV ratings. That's the only reason why I can understand why you would only suspend them 11 games. 11 games, such an odd number. Next topic. Chiefs. How do you think the Chiefs performed this week? This week with the Chiefs preseason game against the Washington Commanders, I was pretty impressed. Starting defense, first drive, I give them a B-. Second drive, second series, give them a B+. The defense. Offense looked great. Patrick Mahomes spreading the ball around. I mean, McCole Hardman or Juju didn't play, and he was still able to make easy work of the defense he was going up against. And that defensive line for the Commanders isn't no pushovers. That's a legitimate front four, as good of a front four as you'll ever find in this NFL. And they did a really great job of being able to move down the field and score 2 times, drive after drive. 3 drives for Patrick Mahomes this preseason, 3 touchdowns. Jody Fortson looked great. 2 touchdowns. Another weapon. Big body guy. It's got me to the point of like, how many tight ends are we going to keep on this team? I mean, because I want Jody Fortson. He looked great last preseason before the injury. He looks great this preseason now that he's back in action. Dude's a beast. Right now, if I had to rank the tight ends in the AFC West, I would go Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, Jody Fortson. Okay, I might be out of my mind a little bit rating them up that high already, but that's what kind of skill set this guy has. That's what kind of dominance I can see this kid having. Really excited about Jody Fortson. Another player that jumped off the screen, Nick Bolton. Great. He had a pass breakup. He was, like I said, it's almost like he knows the plays before they happen, the way he's getting back there in the backfield. Getting a hand on the running back so that they can gang tackle him, but stopping the momentum in the backfield, making plays. He's a playmaker. 32. I often don't even call him by his name because when I see him, all I do is say his number because that number just keeps flashing up, making plays on the screen. As I said, last year it was 5'4". He changed his number to 32. So 32 makes plays. He's all over the field. And I'm really excited about that. Also, Willie Gay didn't really make too many plays in these 2 drives in the preseason, last game. But you can see his talent there still. And it looked like we were in a nickel formation with the start lineup mainly. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. As you guys did see, Rashad Fenton did go down in the game. Looks like it was a groin injury. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Because I'm liking the way our rookies are playing. Trent McDuffie, Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson. But I'm not ready for having 2 corner rookies out there on the field at a time. Right now I'm envisioning L'Jarius Sneed, Rashad Fenton, Trent McDuffie. That's what I think is going to be huge for this team. I think that's your core corners that are out there on the field to try to make it plays and impact. I'm not saying that's an elite cornerback group, but I think that's our cornerback group, and I think we'll have some success with it. Another player that jumped out the screen to me, Karlaftis. Another sack. That's what I want this year. I want Sack Nation to thrive this year. I want to see us make plays. Chris Jones sat out this game. Perfectly fine with it. Frank Clark has been looking pretty fast off the ball, but he didn't never look that slow off the ball to me in the past. But I want to see him get to the quarterback. But Karlaftis, his motor runs high. That sack that he had the right tackle blocking him, the tight end helping. He just stayed with it and got the play, got the sack. And I see he tried to take that feedback from some of his teammates and work on his, work on his celebrations. But I think he still needs to work on it, especially if he's going to be doing that consistently week after week, getting sacked. Got to get like a signature sack pose. I think D4s used to go 5-5, which wasn't that great, but wasn't too terrible, you know? You got to have a consistent sack pose that is synonymous with you, so that way when Madden makes their games and I get a sack with you on the game, I see that motion in the game. Leo Chenal showed some more flashes for me. What I'm curious about for him, because this is the second preseason in a row, wasn't the, you have your starters. He wasn't in the second group of linebackers to come in either. But on those first 2 drives, he did come in on the first drive with the starters for 1 play. And maybe it was more, but from what I've seen, it was 1 play. But he wasn't in the second group of linebackers that was consistently playing. He was in the third group. I'm trying to understand, what does that mean coaching staff-wise? Because to me, the kid can ball. He has a knack for getting to the ball when it's a run play. The biggest concern I have for him is pass coverage. But I would think you would want to put him out there in the game and get some reps to prove that he can develop in pass coverage. You want to get as much experience for the kid as possible. Or maybe you don't want to show the NFL that he is weak in pass coverage. I'm not sure. But I really do like that kid. He runs a 4.5, just like Nick Bolton. We can have all this speed out there in our linebacking crew. I think Willie Gay runs a 4.5 too, but I think Willie Gay might be faster than 4.5 the way I see him moving. But you have a fast, aggressive linebacking crew, relentless, ferocious. That defines if people will be scared to play you. I know a lot of receivers don't want to go across the middle if they know they gotta meet a big, thick linebacker that can come at you at 4.5, 40 speed and could possibly put you on your back. I tell you, there was a lot of things in this Chiefs preseason game too I liked a lot. Justin Watson, solidified wide receiver 5. Book him in right away. Let's go into what I think our 53-man roster will look like. So we're going to start with quarterback. I think you keep 2 quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, Chad Henne. Going into the running back room, I think you keep 3 running backs. I don't think you keep 4. I think you keep 3. I think you keep Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jerick McKinnon, and Isaiah Pacheco. So that's me having Rojo on the outside and not making the team. For fullback, Michael Burton. So that's 6 players. The next 6 I'm going to go into is the receivers. I think it's Marquez Valdes-Scantling, McCole Hardman, Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore, Justin Watson, and for that 6th spot, I might butcher his name, but Darius Fontaine. I think those are your 6 receivers that you keep. So that puts us at, 12 right now? I think this team keeps 4 tight ends. I think we keep 4 tight ends. Travis Kelce, Blake Bell, Jody Fortson, and Noah Gray. I think those are your 4 tight ends that you keep on this team. That puts us at 16 right there. That's your 16 men so far on the offensive side of the ball. Then I think the rest you keep offensive linemen. So we're going to go what I think the starting lineup for the offensive line is. You got Orlando Brown, Joe Tooney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and I think Andrew Wiley's your starting right tackle. I think you keep 9 backup. I think you keep 9 total offensive linemen. So I think you keep 4 reserve offensive linemen. I think there's going to be Nick Allegretti, Austin Reeder, Jaron Christian, and I don't know what Lucas Niang's injury is looking like. So I think he ends up going to the PUP list. And I think Darian Kennard is your 4th offensive lineman off the bench. So I think those are the 9 you keep, with Lucas Niang going to the physically unable to perform list and coming back once he's healthy. And you end up, depending on how Darian Kennard performs, he hasn't, from what I'm hearing about at camp, he isn't really doing too well. But if he progresses, I can see Jaron Christian being the one out to bring Lucas Niang back. Other than that, Darian Kennard will be out. But that's what I'm going with for our 25 players on offense. Those are your 25 players you keep on offense. We'll go to special teams real quick because I think that'll be pretty easy. I think we keep Dustin Colquitt. I said Dustin Colquitt. I forgot that kid's name. Dustin Colquitt spent so many years with us that every time I think of a punter, the first thing I want to say is Dustin Colquitt. But it's Tommy Townsend, Harrison Butker, and James Winchester, our long snapper. So for the 25 people on defense, I was thinking pretty hard about this one. So we're going to start off with the D-line. We're going to start. This is Frank Clark, Chris Jones, Derek Nandi, Mike Dana. Then we're going to go into George Karlaftis, Carlos Dunlap, Tershawn Wharton, and Colin Sanders. So that's 8 right there. We might come back and add to that D-line group, but we're going to see where we're sitting at. But we're at 8 right there. Let's go to the linebackers. I think this team keeps... I think we keep 6 linebackers. So, I think that's Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, Elijah Lee, Leo Chenal, Darius Harris, and Jermaine Carter. I think those are your 6. So, we are at 14 players total on defense so far. So, let's go into that secondary. So, we still have 11 more players we can put on this squad. So, L'Jarius Sneed, Rashad Fenton, Trent McDuffie, Juan Thornhill, Justin Reed, Brian Cook, Deion Bush. So that's 7. So that means I got 4 more spots on this defense. Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson. I think we keep Najee Johnson. And now this is where I'm torn at for that last spot on the roster. I don't know if we keep Chris Lamons because he has such a huge impact special team wise, and Dave Toub seems to like him. And he even made some plays in that last preseason game. He got his head turned around last minute and was able to break up a big play from happening and was able to get an interception in that game. Or do we keep Joshua Kando? Do we end up keeping Chris Lamons, an extra defensive back, or do we bring on Josh Kando, which I'm seeing some flashes in that last preseason game from him? Or, heck, we could even keep Danny Shelton. I mean, we brought him here for a reason. I'm thinking it's Chris Lamons. I'm thinking Chris Lamons makes this team. And that leaves Danny Shelton and Josh Kando on the outside. Then again, I could be completely wrong. But that's my 53-man roster prediction right there. It could change, some people will be on the physically unable to perform list. I don't know if Rashad Fenton ends up, that groin injury being worse than what I'm thinking it is, and he has to miss some games. He goes to the PUP list. Then Chris Lamons is that DB that gets to stay, and then you get to keep Josh Kane, or you get to keep Danny Shelton. A lot of times there's a lot of things that end up happening like that, or maybe you don't keep Najee Johnson and you put him on the practice squad. That's very possible. Especially because he really hasn't done anything to jump off the screen in preseason like Chris Lamons has. There's all kind of mixes, but hey, this is my prediction. This is the one I'm saying who's going to make the team. All right. So our next topic, my thoughts on the Royals this week. My thoughts on the Royals this week is, how do I say this? We went 0-3 versus the Twins, and we're 1-2 against the Rays right now, currently. Brady Singer is the only thing that gets me excited about the Royals right now. Actually, that's a little bit disrespectful to some of the other Royals players that I like a lot. Bobby Witt Jr., who had 2 home runs in that Rays game. And I'm always going to love Salvi. I'm always going to love Salvi. But Brady Singer is the games that I really want to watch at this point. I mean, I think he's had solid outings out of his last 7 games he's played. I think he's had 6 solid outings. Brady Singer is the thing that kind of gets me excited about the Royals right now. Do I think he could potentially be an ace for us one day? I mean, there's always the potential, but I wouldn't want Brady Singer as my ace. I think the trajectory that he's going on, he's going to be a solid pitcher for us, but I would like to have someone better as our ace. So I'm hoping we continue to see progress from the Royals. We got 40 games left in this season, so this season is dead and water over for us. But I just want to continue to see progress over these next 40 games. I want to see some of the youth that we have, see them make some strides, get better. But Brady Singer is kind of like the only thing that's catching my attention about the Royals right now. Got a game today at 12:40. By the time I release this video, it'll probably be past that. So we'll see how they do in that game next week. Bronny's dunk. What was your thoughts when you saw Bronny's dunk? First thing that came to mind was NBA level athleticism. That's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw his dunk. He was driving down the lane, left-handed. It was basically full court, left-handed. He hit dude with a little in and out, then continued to proceed down the lane left-handed, and then went up, right hand, boom, on him. Unorthodox. Because in your mind, the way basketball is taught to you fundamentally wise, he's coming down left-handed on the left side, go up, protect the ball, shield for the defender, dunk left-handed or lay left-handed. Hard for the defender to block. But no. Bronny said, take this. I'm going to do it right in your face. You're gonna feel all of this right in your face. And he got up there. What I'm seeing from this kid is NBA level athleticism. Straight from his dad's. Dude is mad athletic. If you ask me what part of Bronny's game is NBA ready, athleticism. His athleticism is NBA ready right now. Right now. At 6'3", I think he needs to continue to become a better ball handler and continue to work on his jump shot, which every year this kid has played high school basketball, he's gotten better at handling the ball, better at shooting the ball. He's a decent playmaker. If I continue to see him become better at handling the ball and better at playmaking and shooting, dude's going to be a problem. He's always been solid on defense, if you ask me. Plays the passing lanes really well, puts effort in on that side of the ball. A while ago, I was like, I don't even know if this kid is actually going to make it to the NBA. Oh, he's definitely making it to the NBA. If he keeps going on this trajectory that he is right now, LeBron's little 2-year contract that he just signed is right in line for when Bronny should be entering the league. We could be seeing the first father-son play together. And that'd be newsworthy, really great. I would love to see it. I'm excited to see it. But Bronny's the truth. He's NBA ready right now in his athleticism. Maybe not all over overall game, but athleticism, absolutely. And don't let him get 1 or 2 more inches taller, because that's all you need. If you got the height and athleticism, you 6'4", 6'5", and you're athletic, NBA team will pick you up just for your potential. At 6'3" right now, it's borderline. But that athleticism for that potential is right there. If he improves on his game in some certain areas, 100,000% he's going to be in the league here in the next 2 years. Can we talk about trusting as a parent? So Can We Talk About It is going to be one of my consistent segments every week. Sometimes it'll be something sports related. Sometimes it'll be just talking about life, talking about a topic that I got to talking with somebody during the week that I thought I'd just bring here to the show. But can we talk about trusting as a parent? I am a father of a boy who turns 2 in September. So my son. I have a baby girl due in October. And through these 2 years of parenting, the thing that I'm really learning most is it's really hard to trust people. It's really hard to trust that and know that everybody's going to have the best interests for your child. What do I mean by that? I'll give you some examples. As a parent, I'll tell you this. Loving someone unconditionally is different. As a parent, the day your child is born, you love that individual unconditionally, not knowing anything about them, not knowing what their personality is going to be like, not knowing the wrongs, the rights, or anything like that they're going to do in life. But you love them unconditionally from the moment they take their first breath into this world. And you want to protect that with all your heart. So when you when you do things, you're always trying to do things to be the best parent and role model for them as possible. A lot of your decisions at work, in life, when you come across somebody having a tough time, a lot of that starts challenging you to think in different ways. What kind of person do I want to role model for my son to see? What am I being a good parent by not taking them to the hospital? Am I being a good parent by taking them to the hospital? One example is my son was sick. Had to go pick him up from daycare. Projectile vomiting. I've never seen anybody projectile vomit before, but he was just projectile vomiting. And I'm like, wow, he's really sick. Give him water, he would projectile vomit it. Give him snacks, he projectile vomit it. Didn't take him to the doctor. Try to keep him hydrated, but he couldn't keep anything down. Next day comes, same thing. So this is going on 2 days now. And as a parent, you don't want your child to hurt. You don't want them to suffer. It's 2 days, my son projectile vomiting, and I haven't taken him to the hospital or anything like that. My bad parent because I haven't taken my son to the hospital. So take him to the emergency room to have him see him, because you can look in his eyes, he's not there. He's not his usually bubbly, excited, wanting to laugh, play peekaboo, all that self. Get to the emergency room, go back there, and we're sitting there for an hour. Nobody's seen us. Finally, somebody comes in, and I'm getting more and more frustrated as time goes on. Somebody comes in, oh, what's going on? Well, he's projectile vomiting, yada, yada, yada. Oh, okay. Then they walk out. Then he throws up again. I'm like, dude, I don't want my son to suffer anymore. What can we do? They come back in, they go, so we can give him these pills. We can give him these pills that you guys can give him to him by mouth. That will dissolve, and it'll help him stop vomiting. So my question to the doctor is, why is he vomiting? Do you guys know why he's vomiting? Does he have COVID? Does he have a flu? Does he have cold? What's going on? The doctor says, oh, I don't know. But if you give him this, he'll stop throwing up. So then my next question is, what is the side effects of giving him this? Side effects are he could be constipated, and some other side effects, but the one that jumped out was he could be constipated. So me giving him this will stop him from throwing up, but it in turn can make him constipated to where he can't use the bathroom, which can make him sick as well. And y'all can't tell me what's wrong with him. Y'all can't tell me why he's throwing up, but y'all want to just arbitrarily give him this medicine. That doesn't make sense to me. So now I'm questioning, do you have my child's best interest at heart? Or are you just going to give us a pill, not knowing what's wrong with him, give him a pill and hope for the best? Not okay. If I go back to my childhood, when I was in elementary school, the teachers recommended to my mother to get me checked out because it was hard for me to pay attention in class. I had very little focus, so my mom got me checked out. They wanted to put me on medication for ADHD. My mom said, no, my son doesn't have a issue with paying attention. He has an issue with people being able to grab his attention. So my mom said no to put me on ADHD medication, which I thank her for, because I didn't have an issue. I was a young black boy that had a lot of energy, that wanted to explore the world. And at 5-6 years old, me sitting down in a chair and you going over what 2 + 2 is, and I already know what 2 + 2 is, I'm not sitting here. I'm gonna go over there and see what that's about. Fast forward to me going to the doctor. The last time I went to the doctor was probably about 5 years ago. I had a breakout on my lips. It's where my lips were bumping up, weeping, all of those things, and I went to the doctor. The doctor gave me, did a whole bunch of tests. They took samples. They put me on medication for amoxicillin. I started taking amoxicillin to try to get rid of what was going on with my lips. And then I started breaking out after taking amoxicillin. I had bumps growing all over my face, all the way down my neck, down my arms. So then I go back to the doctor. Hey, I've been taking this. My lips are still messed up, and now I'm breaking out on my neck and arms. Oh, well, you must be allergic. Let me prescribe you this. They try to give me something else. You take this, it'll get rid of your issue. It should get rid of your issue. It was like a steroid, but it could cause you to rupture your Achilles. And I'm like, how would a medicine run a chance of rupturing my Achilles? Whatever. I didn't like it. It was cosmetic. My lips looked terrible. I took the medicine. I'm taking the medicine. My lips still aren't getting better. I took this medicine for 3 weeks. Daily, 3 weeks straight. My lips never got better, and I'm taking, and it's a steroid, so it's probably doing something to my body. And I go back to the doctor, what is causing my lips to do this? The doctor goes, well, I don't know. So why did you prescribe me amoxicillin and this other medicine, and you don't know what's going on with me? I stopped taking it. I just started changing up a whole bunch of things in my life, and I ended up finding out the reason why my lips was breaking out because I was allergic to the detergent that I was using. And when I would play basketball or exercise, I would wipe my face like this to wipe the sweat off, and that was what was causing my lips to break out. That's how I was able to figure it out. Not medication. Medication didn't do anything for me. So that was my point where I had several instances like that in my life, but that was the moment where I was like, I'm not going to the doctor anymore. So now I have my experience with my son, and like I said, as a parent, you just want to do the best for your child. It's really hard for you to trust other people, even who you let watch your child. You struggle with letting them watch your kids. So I have a baby girl on the way due in October. The doctor says there's something going on with your baby's heart. Okay? We want to send you to a specialist. They send us to a specialist. The specialist's like, yeah, no, there's something going on with the heart, but we don't know what it is. Got a little bit more time to go by so we can have you come back so we can look at it again and see if it's progressing or if it's getting better. Come back again. Doctor goes, yeah, no, there's something going on, but we still really not sure what it is. So now we want to send you to another doctor. So 3 visits in before going to this other doctor, I have no more information than I did the first time. But I have 3 visits of ultrasounds that we gotta pay co-pays for, and ours is $500. So every time we have an ultrasound, we gotta pay $500. So now I'm $1,500 into going to the doctor trying to get information, because you're trying to do whatever you can do to help your child, because you want to be a good parent. $1,500 in, I have no new information. I still have the same information I had from the very first ultrasound. And now I'm wondering, do these people have my child's best interest at heart? Or are they playing on the fact that I want to be a good parent? And I'm going to go to the visits, and I'm going to go to the ultrasounds and be strung along, and they might not ever know the information. Let alone if they can even do something about it prior to the child being born. What should be taking place right now is trying to put in steps and preventative measures in place. If there is no preventative measures or anything like that that can be put in place, why are we paying $500 a visit to do an ultrasound? Let's go ahead, wait for the baby to get here, and then go from it at that point. And yes, I've done 3 visits and there is no plan for if we need to be in a specific hospital for when the child is born, or if the child will need to go right into surgery after they're born, or if there's nothing at all that needs to take place, or if it's just something that needs to be monitored as my child grows. No information like that. 3 visits in, 3 ultrasounds, and had the very same thing that they told me from the very first time we walked in. Frustrating because it makes you question, does the hospital truly have your best interests at heart? Or do they not know and they're just going to throw medicine, throw stuff at you to make you pay money so that they can get paid and compensated for not giving you any information? That's why the song of the week I chose is Coda the Friend for Colored Boys. I want you guys to just listen to this song, formulate your own opinion and your own desires, but coming from a loving father that just wants the best for their child, this is how I'm feeling. So without further ado, let's play Coda the Friend for Colored Boys.
You was born in a hospital with incompetent doctors who didn't bother to press you against your mother's chest. But that's okay, cause Jehovah say that your mother blessed, and we are here to guide you through life and teach you what is best. Do not have your kids in a hospital, they don't give a fuck, especially about black folk. Learn how to deliver your own kids and have them at home, kid, and leave that placenta attached as long as you want, kid. It's different for black boys, harder for black girls. Start your own business venture, thrive in a black world where you and your homies don't gotta worry about getting fired and facing discrimination. We are creators, we don't go begging for placement where we are not wanted. And I'ma keep it 100, youngin', we used to be 100. They had us sitting in zoos, so what you see in the news is really nothing that's new. They really targeting you, you hear me talking to you? But even if your bread's straight, big house, nice car, gotta keep your head straight. People that be gossiping constantly only dead weight. Wiser assessments of situations will carry you to your best days. Put away a portion of your profit when you get paid, and do not be afraid to change. It could be a segue to a better something. But have patience and always make time for family and celebration. And every good thing in life requires dedication, like career, wife, kids, and the spiritual. The point of our existence isn't physical. Make sure there is love in your living room, and make sure that you're there for the ones that you give it to. And grudges will do you no good. Life is too short to be stressing. Love your friends for who they are. If they there when you down, then you should keep them around, and then return their favor tenfold. Everything you hiding will be exposed, so you should probably keep it 1,000, youngin', and let go. Embrace humiliation, is humbling, and take every situation for what it is. Love is free, so don't be possessive. Love is a combination of letting go and holding tight. You'll learn when to do which, and get more love than you know what to do with. And you gon' make mistakes, cause homie, you only human. But that ain't no excuse to be foolish. Treat your woman with respect, that means keeping it real, keeping her in your mind. If you about to be stupid, just think about how she feel. Be honest with yourself, put your ego on the shelf, and I promise you it helps. You ain't gotta be what they expect. Get the scrubbing when you make a mess, and treat your daughters same as your sons. We growing out of double standards. Speaking of standards, let's move away from the European. Tell her she's beautiful, wide nose, coarse hair, brown eyes, brown skin, self-love for the win. Why conform to a society that hates you? Spent all their energy trying to break you. Now they thinking y'all niggas still here. Yeah, y'all still scared. Black boys still strong, slavery still here. Black boys still marked, the prisons are still packed with innocent black boys. The black boys still thrive, the black girls still guard. Yeah. I love you too.
I love you too.
My big boy.
You're my big boy. I'm a hungry caterpillar.
You wanna read Hungry Caterpillar?
Thank you guys for tuning in to Radio Dario this week. And I appreciate the support. I opened up a little bit of myself, my life to you guys. Try to do that more. But ultimately, thank you.